This is Unit 9, Part 2, and we're going to find the surface area of a cylinder today. Here you see many different examples of cylinders in our everyday life. The vocabulary terms that we're going to discuss are cylinder, area, and circumference. Let's start with reviewing perimeter, circumference, and area. Here we have a parallelogram. I know it's a parallelogram because this side is parallel to the opposite side, and this side is parallel to its opposite side. In addition to being a parallelogram, it's also a rectangle because it's got 4 right angles. So what I'd like you to do is calculate the perimeter of the rectangle. Okay, you should have gotten 16 centimeters. To find perimeter, we're going to add the length, 5 centimeters, plus the width, 3 centimeters, plus the length, 5 centimeters, plus the width, 3 centimeters, and that gives me 16 centimeters. Now take a moment and calculate the area of the rectangle. The area is 15 square centimeters. It is an array that is 5 by 3. So it's measured with the squares, and we have 5 squares by 3 squares, or 15 square centimeters. Here's a circle, and I've identified the radius. The radius again is from the center of the circle to the circumference. Remember, the circumference is the distance all the way around the circle. Now remember, perimeter is to parallelogram as circumference is to circle. So to calculate circumference, my formula is 2 times pi times r. And to calculate area, I'm going to use pi r squared. Okay, so here is a cylinder. This is a can of soup, for example. We have a circle on the top. We have a circle on the bottom. And then if we were to cut along this line, the height, and unwrap this label, we will get a rectangle. So here's what our net looks like. We have a top circle, a bottom circle, and then a rectangle. So to find the surface area, we're going to add the top circle, the area of the top circle, plus the area of the bottom circle, plus the area of the rectangle. Now, there's something very fun in cylinders. Notice that this length of the rectangle is the same as the circumference of the top circle. Again, the length of the rectangle is the same as the circumference of the base circle. So when I'm trying to calculate the surface area of a cylinder, all I would need to know is the radius of the circle, so I could use the area and the circumference formula, and the height of the cylinder. So here's a net, and here is the cylinder in a 3D shape. The radius is 2. The height is 6. Now this net has been turned slightly. Remember, this is going to be our length because it's going to be the same as the circumference of the circle. And this actually is the height of the cylinder. So to find the surface area, I'm going to add the area of the circle plus the area of the circle plus the area of the rectangle. Top circle area, bottom circle area, and then the distance around is a rectangle. So I have pi r squared plus pi r squared plus length times width. If I combine my two like terms, I have 2 pi r squared. And it's added to the area of the rectangle. Now remember, we said the length of the rectangle is the same as the circumference of the circle. So it's going to be 2 pi r, and then we're going to multiply that by the height. So in this example, we have 2 pi times 2 squared. That would be the area of the 2 circles. The radius is 2, of course, and we have 2 of the circles. And then we have the circumference, which is 2 pi r, times the height, which is 6. So the surface area equals 25 and 13/100 plus 75 and 40/100, and that equals 153 square units. So let's have you try one. I'd like you to find the surface area of this cylinder. The radius is 5 centimeters, and the height of the cylinder is 10 centimeters. Find the area of the top circle, find the area of the rectangle or the curved surface, and then you're going to add to find this total surface area of the cylinder. Remember to add all 3 areas together. The area of the circle plus the area of the circle plus the area of the rectangle. Here's another one for you to try. You want to find the surface area of a cylinder whose height is 8 inches and whose base has a diameter of 6 inches. Keep in mind, I've given you the diameter this time. So you have an additional step. You need to find the radius first and then find the surface area of the cylinder. Before you finish, tell me something that you learned or were reminded of and a question that you have.